All right, guys, I'm extremely excited to be here today. We have a special guest with us. She is a luxury real estate broker. She is also, as well, a creator and marketer using her tools to be able to feed into her real estate business. Today, I have the special guest, Banna for Curry. It's a pleasure to have you here. And if you want, you can also introduce yourself to the audience.
All right, thank you for having me. Hello, I am Banna Fakori, Miami native, a real estate broker with One Sotheby's International Realty, and the co-owner of the Miami Guide, a big media platform on social media, and we have a website as well, themiamiguide.com.
Awesome. And Banna, now that we're talking about, you mentioned the Miami Guide, and I know that's something that, you've probably spent some time growing. It's a unique page, I'll tell you that. You don't see a lot of people out there using these pages to feed into their real estate business. Kind of what was the purpose behind it when you first started it, and how'd you get it to grow to where it is today?
Yeah, it's a very unique story. I will have to credit my business partner a lot to that. His name is Mike, and he was from Amsterdam. So a man from Amsterdam created the Miami Guide. And we met about 4 to 5 years ago. And he was looking for a business partner here in the US, here in Miami, local, how we can, someone that can really bring something to the table as well, of a local feel. So we partnered. I was looking for we were going to do workshops. This was during the pandemic. This was 2019, we started talking. And then 2020, I wanted to do, I was teaching an online class in person. The pandemic hits, we had to quickly pivot. So then I reached out to him and he said, you know what, let's do this class together. Let's do a virtual online course. I said, okay. And from there, we joined forces and then we just became co-owners of the Miami Guide together. And so he had owned it for about 6 years before me. And then with me, we kind of took it, to the top. Really made it into a whole business, less of a page and more of a business. So now we work with, F1, Art Basel,
Amazing.
Marlins, the Heat, all the major sports teams, all the major hotels, all the major restaurants, you name it. I'm really trying to make the Miami Guide into like a necessity of the Miami life. You can't enter the city without having to go on the Miami Guide, or even a business. You can't enter the Miami space without having to really be in the Miami Guide. We have almost 500,000 followers on Instagram. It's a very hyper local account. So
It's great.
we're not covering Chicago. We're not covering, Jupiter. Or, sometimes we cover Tampa, the Keys, just because Miami is quickly growing into such a tri-county space. And, so we have to kind of cover it all, especially with the
It's
bright line.
interconnected.
Right. So and that's basically the background of it all. Yeah.
I love that, and it's really cool to see the way you're using it, and it's very unique, and I think it gives you an edge, especially with what you're doing as a real estate broker. I'm sure, and I'm sure you can share some information on that, but I'm sure you've gotten business from it on the real estate side. How has that been, and walk us through that process on how you're able to utilize that page for when you're getting real estate business from it.
Right. So I use it differently than what everyone thinks I use it for. Everyone thinks I kind of get the leads from social media. As we all know, internet leads are not easy, and they're actually very difficult. It requires like 12 different touch points. Sometimes you get very lucky, but really not really. It's not that easy to do. We do post certain projects, and if you want more information, contact me. We kind of do that here and there. But really what I use it for is that this is my 13th year in real estate. I'm more of a face-to-face relationships. I really care about my relationships. So I use the Miami Guide more to go to the events. And then at the events, I meet people. And then from there, I kind of nurture them into sales.
I like that.
Or I meet the people, then people connect me to other people. And then from there, I bring in the sales. I meet financial advisors through the events. I meet different people, and the best thing as well is that Miami is it is a melting pot, but it's becoming so much more than what it is. You're from Miami as well,
Yeah,
so
born and raised.
we know how it is. So it's bringing in all these people from all over the world and all over the country, and they go to these events. So I'm able to be their first point of contact.
I like that. So it's really cool to hear that because right, a lot of people think immediately you're just getting it from the post directly or DMing and X, Y, and Z. You're using it to get into the opportunities of these big events where you have some of these prestigious individuals where you actually get to connect with them in person.
Right.
And then from there is how you're using that platform. I like that because, a lot of times people think social is one way
Yeah.
and there's so many ways that you can find an angle
so
to it
many.
to actually bring business, bring brand awareness. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And on the real estate side, like what made you want to get into real estate? What started that journey for you? Because I think we can all agree it's a very crowded market.
Oh yes.
And I think that when somebody's first starting off, there could be a lot of intimidation and fear.
Yeah.
So how was that for you when you were kind of trying to figure out your way, and what was your angle?
I was so young, so when you're so young, you're so fearless, you know. And I really didn't have another option. I was like, you know what? I've been working since I was 14, 15, Publix and Lakes of the Meadows, and I
So
went
you're
to.
from that side of
I'm
town.
from that side of town.
Okay.
I always give West Kendall a shout out.
Hey, I'm a Kendall boy too, so I worked. I remember I was worked in Miller Square,
Right,
Bally's, LA
right. Look at
Fitness back
that.
in my training days, and then eventually Equinox and Merrick Park. So you brought some memories back for me.
You make your way out east. That's what I always like to say. You
Yes.
start there and you kind of make your way out east. But what are we talking about?
So we were talking about how your angle, how you got into real estate, where you
Okay, real
started.
estate.
Yeah.
Yes. So this was a couple years ago. So I basically started real estate when I was 5.
Wow.
But I'm kidding. Yeah. So 2012, 2013, I got into real estate, and I was a student at FIU, and I remember this was 2012, 2013. So after the recession, we're kind of market's picking back up a little bit. You still had those distressed sellers and some of the foreclosures. That market was shifting a little bit. And I remember I was in the last year of my, like one of the last years of university, and I hated my group members in a group project that I was in. And I'm just like, I was studying hospitality management with a minor in marketing, and I was just like, I don't know, let's see what else is going on. And then I had friends that just opened up a real estate firm. And that was kind of like what we were all doing at that point. So I said, okay, let's do it. And I had friends at the time who joined, and I just joined. Never looked back.
Wow.
Never looked back. And that's it. That was, 10, 11 something, 12 years ago.
And you know what? You know what's cool about this too is that you stuck to something, and I think that
Yeah.
we can all agree that in Miami, a lot of people tend to jump around
Oh,
and they don't
yeah.
stick around to something for too long to actually let it flourish.
Yeah.
And I think that you're an example of sticking it through, and really setting your foot and saying, I'm going to make this a career. So I give you a
Yeah.
lot of props for that because you do see a lot of people that, especially in real estate, oh, I'm going to do this. Or I've seen it in my industry. I was a trainer, and there was trainers trying to be agents, and then they're like half trainers, half agents. Or you see people, oh, I'm going to do this job while I'm being an agent. It's like, if you're going to be an agent, go all in,
Yeah.
and commit to.
It's
I'm
not
sure you have a
easy.
lot more to share on that, but it's
Yeah.
just I want to give you props on that for
Thank
making it
you.
happen.
It was so hard. It was so hard. Even now, it's still kind of hard because now it's like, okay, now it's a new level of hard, right? Now it's like, okay, now I reached so many goals, so now the goals just get higher and higher. I tell people like younger ages tend to like ask me questions about it, what I think about it, and I just tell them all the same thing. Do not stop. Just keep it going,
I like that.
And I think now it's almost a little easier in my opinion because you have so many like resources at your disposal now. But when I first started, like it was a lot harder, I feel. It was a lot more cold calling, the door knocking, now I think post COVID we're going back to basics. So I think it's important to kind of stick it through, no matter how hard it gets.
I like that advice, and I think that for all the young listeners out there, also realizing too that as much as social media plays into your favor, and there are those resources that you didn't have back then, I think it also goes to show the thick skin you have to develop
Oh, yes.
and the groundwork that you have to put in. Because a lot of times people, they're kind of like, I'm just gonna go post that and it's gonna generate leads. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. You gotta literally do everything on the back end. And work in favor with what you're doing on the marketing side in order for it to work together. If you just think that the whole social media marketing side is going to be the end all be all,
No.
that's where you're wrong.
It took
So
years of posting. I get like random flashbacks on Instagram, like archives that come up. And I was posting 9, 10 years ago, and I would get 13 likes, 12 likes, mom commenting. It was something that wasn't even people weren't even doing. And so everyone's like, "Wow, Banna, you're doing so well." I'm like, "Yeah, but it took it took 10 years, I would say, like 10 years to really get to where I wanted to be in a way." And then now it's like I was saying, now I'm
Yeah.
trying to get into the ultra luxury space or the luxury space more, I would say. So it just took years of posting consistently. And even then, sometimes the posting, people think they're going to post and sell a house. It's not like that at all. At all, at all, at all. I've had clients that have been my friends for 10 years, and they just started giving me business.
it's usually how it is. Your friends don't end up being your true clients until way later on.
I think it's a sense of proving yourself.
Yeah.
It's a sense of, oh, you're just another realtor. No, actually, I've got a nice...
I'm a professional.
I got some records under my belt now. I've got years. I've got knowledge, so You do have to kind of prove yourself, especially in South Florida. Miami's a whole different world. I tell everyone Miami is not part of the U.S. Miami is not part of this world. We are our own
Yeah.
different planet.
I really feel if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah,
That's
they said
my
about New
feeling.
York, but I don't
I
think
know.
so.
I don't know. I think that's changed. I don't know. You got all the New Yorkers coming down here for a
Right,
reason,
they
so
love it.
they absolutely love it.
They love it.
It's crazy, and like I feel like as Miami natives, it's our how do I say? It's our not the word authority, but it's our positioning, or it's our having to make it happen. Where it's like I'm not gonna just let these people come in here and now disrupt and let them create all the success. It's like I was born and raised here. Like I'm gonna create success here.
This is such a subject because I'm very powerful. I'm very. I feel very. What's the word? I feel very like big on that subject because we do have to make it. It's our
Hmm.
city,
It's literally our
and we have to
city.
keep it our city, no matter how
That's
open we
the
are to
that's exactly
everyone.
what it is.
We have to not forget who we are. The Miami culture is very real. We have to keep it the Miami culture. Be open to everyone, and we love everything and everyone. But I think that there's an essence that we need to keep, and we can't forget that we built the city first.
100%. I love that. I love that. And to all the Miami natives out there, remember it's your job to preserve that and go out there and hit it hard because you might be the next big thing in Miami,
It's
and
your
it's
duty
your
to be
duty.
successful in our city. I care so much about our community. The Miami Guide cares so much about our community. I'm involved in so many charities, organizations,
Love that.
all for the community, all a lot of volunteer work, and so it's all for our city. So I hope we're all on the same page with that.
Amazing. So Banna, we got the Kinetic event coming up April 26th. We're very excited to have you there. You're going to be speaking. What are some talking points and some tips that you're going to leave off with people at that event? What are some things to get the audience excited to say, I got to go there and I got to go listen to Banna?
Okay. I think so. I think having someone speaking on a relatable age is important, and I think I have a lot of success stories that are very applicable. Nothing is out of the ordinary here. So I think having some nice success stories will be a great way to inspire and motivate and get out the door and make it happen. I'll talk about how I made my business using my marketing page, funneling it into my real estate business. I think that's important too. I use social media more of an exposure, awareness, and less of a lead generator. And I have different little techniques that I have with social media, with combining real world experiences and how that makes into a sale at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're here for money, right? We're here to build some wealth little by little. So I think I can provide tips, tricks, techniques, success stories from my end.
Well, I know I'm excited. So if I'm excited, I'm sure our audience is going to be excited for April 26th. And like you were saying, it has to convert, right? I always say there's no reason in doing it if it ain't converting, right? You need it to convert. So I'm excited to hear how you've been able to convert, using what you've been using, what you've been building, and the passing that along to everybody that's listening there. And who knows who might be the next big person and they got inspired by you. So
I'm rooting for you.
there we
Let's
go.
go.
Love it. Guys, you guys heard it. Please connect with Banna. Where can they find you? Where can they message you? Where if they want to learn more about you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Miami__real estate. I was able to get that handle, back in the day.
It's a good handle.
And I think Instagram will probably be the best way. You can also email me, banna@bannamiami.com. I think those two are the best ways to reach me.
So that you guys heard it. Make sure you reach out. Can't wait till next time. Come see us at the Kinetic event, April 26th.
All right, let's go.